Coming up, we've got 3 projects happening in CityWalk, 2 of which we didn't even know about 2 weeks ago. There are new construction walls popping up all over the North Campus of Universal Orlando. Ride track and walls are rising at Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. There's some big changes in the Fast and Furious Supercharged queue. We'll take a look at the ongoing refurbishments of Hogwarts Castle and Finnegan's Bar and Grill. And we'll say goodbye to another icon in Islands of Adventure. My name is Dax, and this is the Universal Orlando Construction Report, Episode 2. Or, Walls Are Universal. Welcome back to the Dax Files and another episode of the Universal Orlando Construction Report. In my first episode, I may or may not have said that these were going to be monthly updates. But there is so much going on around Universal Orlando right now that once a month is just not enough. We're going to get to all of our big updates in just a moment, but before we do, definitely make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help me cross the finish line to my first 500 subs. Don't worry, I'll wait. Ready? Let's get into it. This week, we're going to start in CityWalk, where there are now 3 projects underway. Right after my last episode posted, Universal announced that the Epic Universe Preview Center would close to make way for the return of the Universal Legacy Store. With Epic Universe about to celebrate its 1-year anniversary, this closure definitely makes sense. The updated Legacy Store will feature new photo ops and merchandise based on retro Universal Studios attractions. I can't wait to have this one back. The other big breaking news in CityWalk is that the Burger King Whopper Bar closed on April 20th, to be replaced with Five Guys Burgers and Fries. This marks the first time a restaurant has been replaced in the top of the walk food court. And while I definitely would have preferred something else, such as Culver's, or Shake Shack, or maybe even Florida's first In-N-Out. I know, that's never going to happen. Five Guys definitely will be a great new addition to the food court. But if they touch Panda, we riot. And finally, Universal also reconfirmed that Luke Combs Category 10 would be coming to the CityWalk waterfront in 2027. We do have what appears to be some movement on that project, with some of the merchandise carts moving away from the future work zone. This project is expected to take a significant portion of the CityWalk waterfront, as well as some of the main CityWalk pathway. This side of CityWalk is about to change forever. It'll definitely be interesting to watch this project take shape. Now, let's head into Universal Studios and take a look around. There's definitely a lot to look at. This park has been changing quite a bit every single day. Let's get to it. We'll start right at the front entrance, where painting has resumed around the admissions buildings. I've been to the park 3 times in the past week, and the situation has changed quite a bit from my first visit on April 18th to my most recent on April 22nd. For a few weeks now, this project had been stalled, with the VIP lobby still being untouched. As of the 22nd, that project has resumed, and we're getting closer and closer to figuring out whether the Universal Studios archway will get painted in the same color scheme. Before we dive into Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift construction, let's take a look at the new walls that have been put up all around the park. And there are a lot of them. We do have some new construction walls in the Hollywood area, mainly between the Wicked Experience and the Brown Derby Passholder Discount Shop. More walls have also come up in front of the Ghirardelli facade in the San Francisco area, as that facade appears to be undergoing a major refurbishment. We also have a lot of new walls that have appeared in the New York area, including walls that are blocking other construction walls, like in front of the Ghostbusters facade. We also have walls in front of Finnegan's, which we'll get to in a minute. And there's more walls between Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon and Minion Cafe. Refurbishment is continuing around Finnegan's Bar and Grill, which closed in January for a complete interior demolition and rebuild. It had been kind of quiet on the exterior front until recently, where construction walls were put up around the Delancey Street entrance to the restaurant. Behind those new walls, we can see that there is a brand new, giant hole in the building's facade. Within it, you can see that the restaurant has been completely gutted. When the restaurant reopens at the end of the year, we can likely expect a larger dining area, a bigger bar area, and hopefully a refreshed menu. One last note here, possibly related to Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift construction, is that we do have some of the prop cars that have gone missing from the Fast and Furious Supercharged queue. Could we see these vehicles repurposed into the queue for the new ride? I think so, but only time will tell. Also, after filming this video, the area normally used for HHN has been blocked off, meaning that we should see HHN construction happening in the Supercharged queue very soon. Heading over to the work area for Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, there has been a lot that has happened in the short amount of time since my last update. So much so that I have rewritten this part of my script 3 different times to reflect how quickly things are evolving. In the New York area, we have the first coaster supports and track finally in place. The beautiful gray track and blue supports look amazing, and are definitely a huge change from Rocket's red and gold color scheme. For now, only the track around the dual load station has been placed, but as more track begins to arrive to the staging area at Epic Universe, we should start seeing the actual ride track placed in the coming weeks and months. Also of note here, we can see that the station roof and the exterior walls are starting to receive their framing. Maybe they're finally going to fix that guitar pick-shaped hole left behind by Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket in the back of the Ghostbusters facade. In the background, we can see that work is continuing on the maintenance building as well, with exterior walls finally being placed along the back of the building. This is my picture, but shout out to BioReconstruct for pointing it out in one of his recent updates. We do also now know, thanks to permits uncovered by Scott Walker on X, that the majority of this building will be used as maintenance areas, offices, and storage for the many departments around the resort. Over in front of Hard Rock, for once, there's not really much to report out here. There's a new tarp over the whole roof of the new electrical building, as well as a new pit directly in front of it. Otherwise, it looks like most of the infrastructure work is nearing completion out here in this area. If I had to take a guess, I would say that this is the first area we're going to see major track installation, outside of the station area, so that they can get the Nickelodeon pathway ready and open before HHN. Now, let's switch gears and head over to Islands of Adventure. And brace yourselves, this one's going to be a rough one. Before we get there though, we do have some new walls and scrim up in Port of Entry, this time around the Croissant Moon Bakery. The bakery is still open, as is Confisco Grill, which has now been behind scrims for a few months. Also of note here, the Starbucks location does still remain closed at this time. No word as to when that's going to reopen. Over in Jurassic Park, work is continuing on the extended refurbishment of Jurassic Park River Adventure. The attraction closed in January for a 10-month refurbishment, and is scheduled to reopen in November. We can see here that the rock work under the second drop is under scaffolding and is currently being refurbished. We also continue to see some new updates around the Jurassic Outfitters store, including a very familiar reference to the now defunct dinosaur attraction at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Work is also continuing on the refurbishment of Hogwarts Castle at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade. With Hogsmeade now being old enough to drive, which is truly crazy to think about, it's definitely time for the icon of the area to get a refreshed look. We can see here that some of the scaffolding and scrims that have gone up over recent weeks has now come down, revealing a light gray version of Hogwarts. Of course, this is just the base coat for the final product, and it's expected to look just like the iconic Hogwarts castle that we've come to know and love over the past 16 years. And now, it's time for some heartbreak. Earlier this month, walls around the 8th voyage of Sindbad went up as the Lost Continent area begins its multi-phase demolition process. Earlier this week, walls around Poseidon's Fury have also gone up, leaving the most beautiful entrance to a theme park attraction, possibly anywhere in the world, in the past. Not much work has been done yet behind those walls, but we should start to see heavy demolition in the area beginning soon. As of right now, the Treasures of Poseidon store remains open, but I can assume that won't be the case for much longer. Crossing into Sindbad's Bazaar, we can see that most of the area is still operating as normal, with the various shops, eateries, and even the Mystic Fountain still going strong. For now. I've personally heard that the rest of the land, with the exception of Mythos, will be closing within the next few weeks as well. Looking over at the 8th Voyage of Sindbad, we can see that more land clearing has taken shape to the right of the theater, with most of the trees being removed around what used to be a team member access pathway. I walked around the Hogwarts Express queue as well, and while there's not much visible progress in these videos, we do know that interior demolition of Sindbad has not yet started, but land clearing and concrete demolition in the courtyard in front of it has indeed started. There's also a random new hole in the top of the building, which I can assume is likely to work on disconnecting infrastructure, such as gas lines and electrical lines, before the demolition of the theater actually begins. Brace yourselves, folks. It's about to get wild in Islands of Adventure. That was a lot, especially since my last update was just 2 weeks ago. In my 20+ years of being a regular around Universal Orlando, I can confidently say that I have not seen this much construction activity happening at once. It's great to see Universal giving the legacy park some attention, especially when all eyes are on Epic Universe, which is about to celebrate its 1-year anniversary next month. Thanks for tuning in. As always, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and leave a comment letting me know what you think of the insane amount of work that's happening around Universal Orlando. I'll see you next time. Peace.